Hello everybody, welcome to Weigh-In Time. It's the Sunday weigh-in. On this episode, I'm going to be talking about how to go from Slimming World to calorie counting and giving my top 5 tips. Hello everybody, welcome to Weigh-In Time. I am Patrick. On this episode I'm going to be giving you 5, and there's possibly a secret 6th tip in this, and these are things which I've learned within the first few months of moving from Slimming World to calorie counting, things that have really helped me. If you've been doing it for a while, then please drop your suggestions into the comment section below so that I can read them and learn, and also anybody else watching who's interested can learn as well. And of course, if you haven't done it already, please like, comment and subscribe. And today I have started posting on TikTok, so if you are on TikTok, then follow me at Weigh-In Time YouTube. Thank you so much if you are new to the Weigh-In Time family, and of course thank you everybody who has been with me since the very beginning. So we're going to start this video off with tip number 1, which is if you are looking to get into calorie counting, so maybe you're planning on doing this alongside Slimming World, then that is great. And if you are planning on doing it just on its own without Slimming World, then you are going to need an app. So I use MyFitnessPal as an app. This is where I can literally scan a barcode or something and it gives me the correct calories for that dish. If you don't have a barcode, then you can obviously type it in and you can find the best match. And if you are preparing food from scratch, they have just added a sort of an ingredient scanner. So basically you take a picture of the ingredient and then it'll tell you what it is, and then you just input how much it is and you then get the calories for it. It gets then sent to, you know, things like Fitbit. If you are using the Fitbit app, it gets sent into that, which is really awesome, and it gets sent to other things as well. So you can use MyFitnessPal, which is what I use. You can use Fitbit, I've got that as well. You can use pretty much any of them. I know NutriCheck is quite a big one in the UK, so make sure you get yourself a fitness calorie counting app. Number 2, and this is probably the biggest one, it should have really been number 1, but that is find your calorie deficit. So there are loads of calorie calculators online. Now I basically used the MyFitnessPal one, and then I double checked it with a few a few calorie calculators. I have selected stationary or sedentary, as in not much exercise, just because obviously I try and get my 10,000 steps in, but there are some days where I'm driving all day due to my job and I'm not really exercising a lot. So I make sure that I'm completely honest when you are filling out these things, so that you can get the most accurate amount of calories that you should have a day, so you know what your deficit should be. Tip number 3 is get yourself a weighing scales. I'm sure you've probably already got one now, but once you've actually got your calorie deficit, then you're going to make sure that it's working. So what you can do is you can weigh yourself every few days. Just for the initially, you don't have to weigh yourself that often all the time. And in fact, you don't have to weigh yourself at all at home, but it definitely helps to know when it's working and when it's not working. So I personally use these, which are Renpho scales. They're smart scales. So every time I step on this, the Renpho app, which is really good, basically takes the measurements, and then you can see the graph of how you're losing, and hopefully it's going down. And that is a really, really cool thing. Now, not only that, but with Renpho, the scales, when you actually step on it, it sends those measurements automatically to MyFitnessPal or to Fitbit. Fitbit, whichever one you're using. And I'm not sure about NutriCheck because I've not used it, but it is a really, basically it's a time-saving thing that you don't have to go into the app and adjust your weight, because a lot of people, when they are calorie counting or in a calorie deficit, they don't go into MyFitnessPal and adjust their weight when they've lost weight. And as a result, the calories that you originally had to eat are going to be changed if you've gained or lost weight. So I recommend getting yourself a smart scales. I really love the Renpho scales because your calorie deficit is going to keep automatically changing when you're using the scales. Now, I did contact Renpho. Now, I paid for those scales myself, and I've mentioned them on the show before. I think they are really, really good, and they are only about 25 quid. But I did contact Renpho and said, listen, can I get a discount code for you guys? So they did. They gave me a discount code of 10%. So if you on checkout, links are going to be in the description. If you use the code WIT10, that's WIT 10, then you're going to get 10% off the scale. So that's about £2.50 or so off a really, really great cheap scales anyway. Now, when it comes to weight loss, obviously weighing yourself is, you know, I'd say it pretty much goes hand in hand. However, if you are going to the gym, you might find that you're looking at the scales and you're not really losing the weight which you thought, but that's just because you are, say for example, you've lost 2 pounds of fat and you've gained 2 pounds of muscle, then you're not going to see the difference on the scales. And that's why I always recommend that you measure yourself with a tape measure. Now, of course, you can use a tape measure and write down the measurements, and then, you know, every few weeks or so, or wherever you feel like it, you can then measure yourself again and see if you've lost weight or say lost inches. However, Renpho, again, same company, have developed this, which is the Renpho tape measure. I love it. I absolutely love this thing. So this was actually sent to me. So when I asked for a discount code, they said, we've got this product, would you like to try it out? And I thought, yeah, who doesn't want a smart tape measure? So basically what you can do is you can use it to literally measure anywhere, and then you literally use this, you clip it into this little section here, and then you've got a little button on it which you push, and then that then will give you a measurement. So there's a little screen there which tells you the measurement. However, you don't really need the screen because this automatically gets sent to your Renpho app. So as a result, every time you weigh yourself, or sorry, measure yourself, I should say, and weigh yourself, the app gets updated so you can see that graph of how much it was before. I can't remember the last time I weighed in what my neck circumference was, but if I measure myself again, I'll know if I have lost any weight in my neck. So really, really good. Make sure you check out the links below for the products. They also do a smart kitchen scales as well, which I don't have, but I really, really want. So I'll be getting those at some point. And basically you type in what the thing is. So if it's like chicken or carrots, and then you put the food on the scales, it gives you the weight of it and then tells you how many calories, and then imports that calories over to the Renpho app. Really good, really great company. And now you've got a 10% discount. Tip number 4 is get yourself some form of smart tracker. So I have currently just got a Pixel watch. So this is part of Fitbit. So it's made by Google, but it's got Fitbit integration. So basically it then gives all of the information from my exercise to the Fitbit app. You can just use a Fitbit on its own. I know Samsung have got watches, Apple obviously have got watches as well. So no matter what or how much you spent on your tracker, what you can do is basically pair your app, like the Fitbit app or the Samsung Health app or the Apple app, to your MyFitnessPal. And what that will do is basically give you some additional calories per day. Now, obviously it's entirely up to you if you decide to go with those, but it's just nice that if you say have got a dessert in mind at the end of the day and you're coming to the end of those those calories, then you can then think, well, actually, I've got 500 calories that were burnt from exercise today. I've got those additional calories in order to have that tasty dessert. So it is really, really important, I think, to make sure you've got a fitness tracker. Most people have, so you guys probably already have got one. In that case, if you are going to start calorie counting and using things like MyFitnessPal, then just make sure you pair the app like Fitbit with MyFitnessPal so you can get the calories and you can get some calorie deficit extensions. Tip number 5, as it kind of goes with the last tip, is just exercise. This is the final tip. Well, there's one bonus tip at the end, but exercise. Make sure that you are getting your steps in. Like I said, I lost 12.5 stone. I didn't go to the gym once, so I'm not saying, you know, become a gym bunny or anything like that. I mean, I wish that I was. As you probably noticed, the rowing machine and the running machine have not moved from the last time I did a video. I really need to get onto my exercise, but even if it's just going for a walk, you know, maybe if you've got 2 bathrooms, one upstairs, one downstairs, instead of using the downstairs one, walk upstairs and use that one. Just little things that you can do to get your steps in every single day, and make sure you try and get those 10,000 steps, because that is a recommended. If you want to do more than that, absolutely, that's perfect. But just try and get some exercise in, and it doesn't need to be much, but just maybe parking further away from the supermarket, maybe on the other end of the car park, so you get a little bit extra in. That's pretty much the way you can start exercising. And then if you want to take it further from there, maybe go on a marathon run. I don't think do you know what? I love the idea of going on a marathon run, but not going to happen, I don't think, for me, but maybe for you, who knows. So exercise is tip number 5. And then finally, tip number 6. I mentioned this at the start of every episode, but it's literally drink some water, because sometimes you think you're hungry when you're not, you're actually thirsty. You don't have to drink plain old boring water. You can, you know, drink it in tea if you wanted to. Of course, you can have squash, stuff like that. But sometimes you might think you are hungry, but you're not, you're just thirsty. So water is my 6th and final tip. Now, these are the things which I found personally that have helped me when I've just started within my first few months of calorie counting from Slimming World. If you've been doing it longer, or if you've been calorie counting for a long time, then please let me know any of the things that help you in the comment section below, so I can read them and learn, and then anybody watching can read them and learn as well. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Weigh In Time. I'll be back again very soon, but for now, whatever time of day you're watching this, have an amazing morning, afternoon, or evening, and I'll catch you next time on another Weigh In Time. I'll see you soon.